Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, this body has seen a lot, but lately it's feeling a little heavier than it used to? Or maybe you stepped on a scale and said to yourself, how did I get here without even realizing it? You're not alone. A lot of people over 60 find themselves feeling frustrated about weight, especially when it seems like the old tricks just don't work anymore. The diets that used to shed pounds quickly now seem to do nothing but leave you tired and annoyed. And let's be honest, most of those miracle diets are exhausting, boring, and completely unrealistic for the life you want to live now. The truth is, after 60, our bodies change. That's not bad, it's just different. Our metabolism slows down, our hormones shift, and we may not move around as much as we did when we were younger. But that doesn't mean we're stuck. Not at all. In fact, this stage of life can be one of the most empowering when it comes to taking care of your body, not by dieting, but by simply shifting how you live. So today, let's talk about how you can maintain a healthy weight after 60 without counting calories, starving yourself, or jumping on every new health fad. This isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. It's about finally learning to work with your body instead of fighting against it. And let's start with the first simple but powerful shift you can make: listening to your body's hunger and fullness signals. Now, I know that might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised how many of us have learned to ignore those signals over the years. Maybe it started back when we were told to finish everything on our plate, even if we were already full. Or maybe we got used to eating at certain times just because the clock told us to. Somewhere along the way, we stopped trusting ourselves. But your body is smart. It knows when it's hungry and when it's had enough. You just have to practice tuning back in. The next time you eat, try pausing halfway through your meal. Just take a breath and ask yourself, am I still hungry, or am I just eating because it's there? You might be surprised by how often we eat out of habit, not hunger. And here's something else. Your hunger might not always be physical. Sometimes we reach for food because we're bored, lonely, or even just a little sad. That's okay. We're human. But the more we become aware of those moments, the easier it becomes to respond in a way that actually nourishes us. Whether that's a walk around the block, a phone call to a friend, or simply sitting down with a good book and a warm cup of tea. Now, speaking of eating, let's talk about what's actually on your plate. You don't have to follow a strict meal plan to be healthy. In fact, the more colorful your plate is, the better you'll feel. Think about a meal that has a little bit of everything. Some leafy greens, maybe a handful of berries, a piece of fish or chicken, and something comforting like a small baked potato or a bowl of brown rice. When your plate looks like a rainbow, chances are you're giving your body a whole variety of nutrients it needs to thrive. And here's the best part. When you eat more whole, nourishing foods, you naturally feel more satisfied. You're less likely to reach for that extra cookie later. Not because you're forcing yourself not to, but because your body already feels good. That's the difference between dieting and living in balance. One feels like punishment. The other feels like care. Now let's talk movement. Not exercise, not workouts, just movement. There's a difference. After 60, you don't need to run marathons or join a boot camp class to stay healthy. But your body does love to move. It craves it. Whether the morning stretch, a slow walk around the neighborhood, a little dancing in your living room, or gardening in the backyard, movement helps your body digest better, sleep deeper, and feel more alive. And the beautiful thing is, movement also helps your body use energy more efficiently. That means you burn more calories without even trying. Not through punishment, but through joyful living. You start to feel stronger, more limber, and more confident in your own skin. It's not about getting skinny. It's about feeling at home in your body. Another powerful shift you can make is simply slowing down. When we eat too fast, we miss the signals our body sends us. We breeze right past satisfaction and end up stuffed. But when you slow down, when you really take the time to enjoy your food, to notice the flavors, the textures, the smell, you give your brain time to catch up with your stomach. And suddenly, you realize you're full with less. Not because you're restricting, but because you're present. And presence doesn't just help with eating. It helps with everything. When you're more mindful throughout your day, you're more likely to move with intention, to make choices that support your health, to notice when your body needs rest or hydration, or a little fresh air. It all begins to connect. None of this is about being perfect. It's not about following rules. It's about learning to live in a way that honors the body you have now. A body that has carried you through so many years. A body that deserves to be treated with kindness, not criticism. You don't have to chase youth. You just have to nurture the strength and wisdom you already hold. Now that we've talked about reconnecting with your hunger cues, nourishing your body with real food, and moving joyfully, let's move on to something that ties it all together, your daily routines. It's funny how the smallest habits, things we barely notice, can quietly shape our health over time. And no, I'm not talking about waking up at 5 every morning to jog around the block. I'm talking about the little things you do without even thinking, the ones that, with a small tweak, can start working for your body instead of against it. Let's start with something as simple as your environment. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to eat when food is just sitting out? A bowl of candy on the coffee table, snacks on the counter, those little nibbles add up before you know it. But when you make small changes to your space, like keeping fruit where you can see it or storing less healthy snacks in the back of the pantry, it helps you make better choices without needing willpower. It's not about restriction. It's about setting yourself up to succeed without even trying. Another subtle but powerful shift happens when we start paying attention to how certain foods make us feel. After 60, our digestion isn't always as forgiving as it used to be. Maybe you've noticed that certain meals leave you feeling sluggish, bloated, or achy, and yet we often push through, telling ourselves, "Oh, well, that's just how it is now." But it doesn't have to be. Try this instead. The next time you eat something, just check in with yourself about an hour later. Do you feel energized or tired? Light or heavy? This simple awareness can teach you more about your body than any diet ever could. Over time, you'll start naturally leaning toward the foods that help you feel your best, and slowly stepping away from the ones that don't. Not because you have to, but because you want to. That's where the real freedom begins. Let's also talk about one of the most overlooked pieces of the puzzle: sleep. Yes, sleep. It might not seem connected to weight, but trust me, it absolutely is. When you don't sleep well, your body produces more of a hormone called ghrelin, which increases your appetite. At the same time, it lowers your levels of leptin, the hormone that tells you you're full. That's why, after a restless night, you might find yourself craving more sweets or carbs the next day. Your body's just trying to get quick energy. But when you start getting more restful sleep, everything changes. Your cravings settle down. Your energy goes up. Your metabolism works more efficiently. And the best part? You start to feel like yourself again, more balanced, more clear-headed, more in control. If sleep has been a challenge for you, try winding down a little earlier in the evening. Turn off the TV or phone about an hour before bed. Read a few pages of a good book, take a warm bath, or listen to soft music. Create a routine your body can count on, so it knows it's time to rest. You deserve deep healing sleep every night. Now, I want to bring up something that's just as important as all of this, maybe even more, and that's self-compassion. You see, after 60, it's easy to fall into the trap of criticizing ourselves. We might say things like, "I've let myself go," or "I don't look like I used to." But let me tell you something. Harsh words don't lead to healthy choices. They lead to guilt, to shame, and that creates stress, and stress, believe it or not, can actually lead to weight gain. On the other hand, when you treat yourself with kindness, you naturally make better choices. Not out of punishment, but out of love. You begin to eat better because you want to care for yourself. You move more because it feels good. You rest because your body deserves peace. Everything becomes easier when you stop being your own worst critic. So the next time you catch yourself thinking something unkind about your body, I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and replace that thought with something more gentle. Maybe it's, "This body is strong," or "I'm doing my best," or even just, "I deserve to feel good." That one little shift can change your whole day. And while we're here, let's talk briefly about joy. Yes, joy. Because maintaining a healthy weight isn't just about food and movement. It's about living a life that feels full. When your days are filled with things that bring you purpose, connection, laughter, curiosity, you're far less likely to turn to food for comfort. You don't need to fill emotional gaps with snacks because your life is already rich and nourishing in other ways. So ask yourself, what brings you joy now? Maybe it's gardening. Maybe it's painting or photography or spending time with your grandkids. Maybe it's something brand new you've always wanted to try. Whatever it is, do more of that. Every ounce of joy you add to your life makes it easier to take care of your body because you have something worth showing up for. And remember, you're not doing this alone. There are so many others walking this path with you, quietly making changes, showing up for themselves, and learning to live well in this season of life. That includes me, and it includes everyone in our beautiful little community right here on this channel. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You don't need to chase a number on the scale. What you do need is a little consistency, a little patience, and a lot of kindness toward yourself. These small shifts, these gentle changes, add up, they become your new normal. And before you know it, you're not only maintaining a healthy weight, you're thriving. Next, let's dive into something that truly ties all of this together, not just in body, but in mind and spirit. Because the truth is, everything we've talked about, your habits, your environment, your sleep, even your self-talk, it all flows into one central place, your mindset. And that's where real, lasting change begins. Not with strict rules or guilt-driven goals, but with how you see yourself and your life. After 60, so much changes. Our bodies don't move quite the same. Our metabolism slows down, and what worked 10 or 20 years ago might not work anymore. That could be frustrating, I know. But here's the beautiful part. This season of life isn't about restriction. It's about freedom. Freedom from diets that make you feel like you're always doing something wrong. Freedom from chasing perfection. And freedom to finally start living a way that feels good, body, mind, and soul. So instead of focusing on what to cut out, try asking yourself what you can add in. More color on your plate, more walks in the fresh air, more quiet moments that bring you peace. You're not trying to go backward. You're creating a new rhythm that fits who you are now. And that rhythm will carry you forward with ease and grace. Let's talk about movement for a moment, not exercise, not working out, just movement. You don't have to join a gym or do anything extreme to stay active. In fact, the best kind of movement is the kind you enjoy and can do consistently. Maybe it's a slow walk after dinner, dancing to your favorite music while folding laundry, gentle stretching in the morning, or even light gardening. Every bit of movement counts, not just for your body, but for your mood, your energy, and even your sleep. You might be surprised how just 10 or 15 minutes of gentle activity can lift your spirits, ease your joints, and help your body burn energy more efficiently, without ever feeling like a chore. And when you move regularly, even in small ways, your body starts to trust you again. It learns how to regulate itself more naturally, and that includes managing your weight. Another secret? Water. I know it sounds so simple, but so many people underestimate how much staying hydrated helps with maintaining a healthy weight, especially as we age. Our sense of thirst becomes less sharp after 60, and that means we may not notice when we're a bit dehydrated. The problem is, mild dehydration can feel a lot like hunger. So you might find yourself snacking when what your body really wants is just a good glass of water. Keeping a bottle nearby, adding a splash of lemon or cucumber if you like, and sipping throughout the day can make a world of difference. Your digestion improves, your energy increases, your appetite stabilizes, and you feel lighter and clearer, inside and out. Now I want to touch on something that's not often talked about, but it's deeply important. It's the idea that your weight does not define your worth. You are not a number on a scale. You are a whole, complex, beautiful human being with a lifetime of wisdom and experience. And maintaining a healthy weight isn't about trying to shrink yourself. It's about creating a life where you feel strong, capable, and joyful in your own skin. Some days, that might mean your pants fit a little looser. Other days, it might just mean your knees don't ache quite as much when you get up from the couch. Both are victories. Celebrate them. Acknowledge your progress. Because this journey isn't about quick fixes. It's about building a way of living that supports you for the long haul. And here's something powerful. When you stop obsessing over your weight and instead start focusing on how you feel, your body often finds its own healthy balance. You begin to make choices from a place of love, not fear. You start choosing foods that nourish you, movement that energizes you, rest that restores you. Not because you should, but because you want to, and that changes everything. If you're still with me, I want to take a moment just to say, I'm proud of you. Yes, you. Just by being here, by listening, by being open to change, you're already doing something good for yourself. You're showing up, and that matters more than you know. So as we wrap up this video, let's take a deep breath together. Go ahead, inhale and exhale. That's it. Feel that? That little pause? That's where the magic starts. In those quiet, intentional moments where you choose yourself, your health, your happiness, your peace. You don't need to diet to maintain a healthy weight. You don't need to deprive yourself or follow complicated plans. What you do need is trust. Trust in your body's ability to adapt, and trust in your own ability to care for it, gently and consistently. You've got this. You really do. If something in this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment and tell me one thing you're taking with you today. Maybe it's a shift in mindset, a little habit you're going to try, or just a reminder to be kinder to yourself. Your voice matters here. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps more people see content like this. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already, so we can keep growing this warm, supportive space together. Thank you for spending a little of your day with me. Remember, this is your time. Your season to feel well, live well, and be well, without pressure, without shame. Just one good choice at a time. Here's to living your best life at any age.